Hello and welcome to the 2020 Play It Again Sports Jonesboro Open. We have round 2 front nine coverage from the last Disc Golf Pro Tour stop on the regular season. Our coverage is brought to you by Prodigy Disc, and we've got Big Barry, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri bringing you second round coverage.
Happy birthday.
Oh, there it is. You didn't waste any time today.
And I was giving it to you on your birthday. Happy birthday, Jerm. But Paul McBeth with a hot 12 under. Calvin right there with him, 12 under as well, 100% in the circle.
Pure jubilation on Calvin's face as he's just super excited to bring that 100% putting to round 2. And Thomas Gilbert with a little magic trick. Okay.
I see you.
That's nice. And Reid Frescura, we get a little bit of lefty action on our card to mix things up a bit. It's going to be a really exciting round here. This moving day, getting right into the action. Hole 1, par 3, 450 feet, plays like 480. Slightly uphill from the tee box over the valley. A really fun way to start the round off with a big rip. Really only, I would say, a quarter of the field can even get to this hole.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah,
For the
definitely
lead card,
one of the tougher
first
ones.
to tee, representing California, we have Paul McBeth.
It's not necessarily the line that's tough. It's just the pure distance you have to get it there. The line's pretty basic as far as a shot for this caliber of field.
Yeah, but at that distance, that shot shape starts to get a little bit wider as far as the landing zone gets in terms of accuracy. But McBeth always a player who's able to control those angles so well, and this is just beautiful. Needs the hyzer back. I thought he actually had that thing on a perfect line, but still pin high 30 feet away. It's a great drive.
Next on the box, all the way from Florida, we have Calvin Heimburg.
And these are the holes that I feel like Calvin Heimburg really lives for. That kind of bonus birdie type distance where for him it's just not really that difficult.
Yeah, I agree. I think even with McBeth and even Thomas on the card, this is like one of those holes. It's kind of tough, but they should have no problem throwing a straight shot.
Oh, Calvin might be in trouble a bit. Yeah, and that's turned over too much, and that's going to be still, even with the tree kicks, he's still putting from inside 45 feet.
Representing
Yeah, that's
Ontario,
ridiculous.
next on
So
the
much
box,
power.
we got Thomas Gilbert.
Thomas Gilbert, obviously elite power on a big course. He's going to provide a lot of excitement out here today. Player who's still somewhat relatively new to the sport, and yet he has worked maybe just as hard, if not harder than anyone else, and he has worked on his putting and distance, and look at that little turn of the body, and even that turns the shot over. And again, that's what power gets you. He's still putting.
Fourth player on the lead card, hailing from Michigan, we have Reid Frescura.
A lot of energy from our announcer.
He's excited, super excited. You don't see Reid really throwing a lot of flex shots, so I'm curious if he's going to throw this one a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Not that wide.
But, I mean, for a lefty to get there with no flex, you got to push that left edge all the way.
Right.
But, yeah, you're right. Reid is a very good hyzer player with the forehand and the backhand, but not so much of the anhyzer angle. And this could actually be a pretty tough spot to save the par. And that's going to be a very, very fast putt for the par. 38 feet coming back to the pin down the hill.
Yeah, you can tell this round, not as much wind.
Obviously,
it's the first round, so at least he doesn't have that to deal with. As we saw you in the first round have that really crazy from almost the same spot as Reid. Go check that out. Jerm makes a great putt.
Spoiler. Calvin just a bit short. Opening the door for McBeth to take the first lead of the event if he can make this one here from Circle's Edge. the most routine front runner in the sport. Never breaks that hand off that line, just so perfect.
Zero wobble in that, and that's not really a big deal, but it's quite impressive to see somebody. You know, there's something about a putt that comes out that clean.
Yeah.
That is like so inviting to the eye.
Wow, that is a great putt from Reid. Really, a really nice scramble on the first hole, and
that's a working man's par right there.
And I guess if McBeth was putting before Reid, that means that McBeth was closer to that 38 to 39 foot range as well, and looked like he made it look like it was a tap-in, of course, but that's something he does routinely.
Yeah, his looked like Thomas's did right there.
And 12 players out of the 93-player field were able to pick up the birdie. None more impressive than Tyler Lamb, who birdied this hole, Paul, with a thumber. 470 feet. He threw a flippy destroyer, got it to barrel roll and fly kind of like the Roby Epic does, and went 5 feet past the pin and started his round off with a thumber.
If you could see my face right now.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't think I'm
a little bit apathetic.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
On to hole 2, par 4. A whole bunch of feet, 820 of them to be exact, and it is a doozy. Do you know what Paul's throwing here?
This is actually an ESP Force.
And Paul going through the widest gap, keeping that drive low and not going for a huge amount of distance, but making sure that he doesn't go too far past the landing zone, keeping that thing tight with a nice hyzer angle to skip left.
Yeah, that was the further you go straight through the gap, the harder the shot is. Like Calvin's is...
Let's not talk about that not being perfect. I mean, I don't care how far you go. You throw it that far.
Yeah, I mean, he might have that straight shot, but he still might have to bend it from left to right to get it to where the pin is.
And Thomas, I was curious if he might be doing this, and he's going to pay the price for that risky play to go. Well, it's not really that risky to go hyzer, but he's going to pay the price for an errant throw.
And this might be that hyzer flip to fade. Anheuser.
You say we don't see too many Anheuser angles from Reid, and he has got this thing on a nice angle. It's holding quite a ways, but not enough to get all the way past that big section of trees. That is a very difficult bunker in there.
And that is a massive Anheuser for it to try to carry all the way to the left.
And Thomas in Scrambleville, USA right now, just hoping he can get himself in a good position to get up and down, and I think that's a great shot.
Finds himself a long ways from home.
Scrambleville, USA is very far from Canada, correct. Most frustrating part about Scrambleville, no poutine.
Right.
No maple syrup or poutine in Scrambleville. Just thorns and bogeys. And Paul from the perfect spot. The nose angle was exactly what he wanted. Did he get enough distance? I think he's at least as close as he was on hole 1.
So he's parked. Perfect. No, he definitely wants to push it a bit further.
Calvin just left himself with an eagle approach, and whenever he does that, you know good things are coming. That's a beautiful shot. Oh, a little bit of cabbage. That slows down Thomas's approach. He's going to have to work for that par. Reid making things a bit easier for himself. Okay, so Paul does come up quite a bit shorter. This is closer to 50 feet. Right on line.
Yeah, 1 inch shy.
Right at circle's edge, Thomas drawing air, and that's going to be, he's going to be still out. That's the famous YSO. But a good comeback putt for the bogey. 3 worst words in disc golf.
Scrambleville, USA.
You're still out.
Oh, okay.
And Calvin to...
They stand for the same thing.
Yo, no way.
Oh, the push out.
No, come on. That was fully in the basket. That's a
bit right.
Come on. Yeah, sure. It was a little bit.
Well, he only missed by a little bit.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker, though. We haven't seen an actual deserved Jomez in a while. That one earned the title. That was a good enough putt to stay in most of the time. Well, 3 pars and 1 bogey on hole 2, bringing our feature group, our lead group, to hole 3, par 3, 435 feet straight across the valley. Once again, kind of like hole 1, just a smaller version of it, one that pretty much most of the field can reach. There is out of bounds on the left side, though, all the way down. That really comes in play as you get closer to this pin. Sounds like there's a cat in the background or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bird. I'm not sure.
One thing's for sure, that's a bird.
Oh, it was a nice drive. Calvin keeping it low and turned over. And like you had mentioned on hole 1, the wind is down. And so a lot of the wind reads that we've made in our practice rounds and in round 1 are, it's really all up in the air once again once you step up to this tee box. It's not like practice rounds. It's not like round 1, and you have to refigure it out. And that just kind of fell out of Reid's hand there. That's a completely errant shot, and that's going to have to yield a par. Unless something crazy happens, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen people throw it in from longer for this tournament.
Right, Garrett Girthy, hole 15, round 1. Go check that action out.
Thomas leaks it a bit left. The only real trouble there is that out-of-bounds fence line, but he checks up nice. He'll be in the circle for a birdie look.
And Reid just pitching that up there for the short par putt. Somebody really needs to put that horse back in the stable. Looks like they listened immediately. And there's Thomas's excellent putting stroke. A nice birdie. Getting him on the board and padding those bounce back statistics. On a course that has about, I'd say give or take 3, maybe 4 slightly gimme feeling-ish birdies. This one definitely has the feel, especially after the tough start on 1 and 2, as one of those holes you really feel like you must get.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I think even the next hole is in that category as like pretty on the easier side of things.
2 birdies and 2 pars. Moving on to hole 4, par 4, 630 feet. There's a couple of routes to go. This is the little bit more technical route with that very low ceiling branch going down the middle here, down the hill, or you also have the big wide hyzer play. And I think the only person that we're going to see throwing down the middle is going to be Reid Frescura. Other 3 players should be going pretty safe out wide, just trying to avoid any of those out-of-bounds bunker areas that are basically surrounding the trees on the right side.
On this route on the right here, if you have 550 power, great play. But really anything less than that, pretty tough, because those bunkers where the out-of-bounds is, those are right at about 500 feet. And then that if you hyzer out early, there's one at about 430. So definitely a tough hole.
Thomas, once again, misreleasing, but getting away with it, and actually not that bad of a place to be for the second shot.
He might have something from there. It's going to be kind of a tricky little shot, but better than throwing 3 from there for sure. And this guy has that 550 power we were talking about.
Making this hole just pretty much child's play from there. It's going to be a very short rhino pitch up for Calvin from there.
And that's a bit better right there, but kind of doesn't get the full flight. Maybe a little bit understable.
That's the mistake to make, keeping it low, at least getting past that branch. Once you get there, it's only about 370 to the pin, and Reid really flexing that big hyzer power, coming up a bit short, but keeping it inbounds. If this sits down, this will be
go in
right around the circle's edge, maybe just outside the circle for Thomas's putt for birdie.
Little zony from Paulie.
You really can't make the hole any easier. If you get out there safe with a big hyzer play, and like you said, 500 feet.
And that's the world's smallest X step I've ever seen. Did he like almost moved his feet?
I think he just like glided over the grass.
And this doesn't look like it, but there's usually it's a bit windy on this one.
What? No way. Come on. No.
Now this is definitely not nice.
That shouldn't happen. That just simply shouldn't happen. That was an incredible effort from Reid.
All you can do is smile about it.
Literally got rocked. Thomas, finding the right side of the basket, catches it on the right side and drops in for the birdie. That's a great putt. Thomas, a
good putter.
A very good putter. Hey, he's got that kind of spinny pop with his hand, and when he is on, I mean, he can be dialed in from 70 and in.
Yeah, he definitely has what I would compare to maybe a not fully developed style like Eagle. Eagle has that, effortless spin where he can, pretty much put it from 120 feet, and I believe Thomas has that same kind of control, just hasn't really dialed it into the consistency that Eagle has. Well, nobody really has, but.
Hole 5, par 3, 495 feet. 2 routes that go on this one, down the middle with a little bit of a flex play, or if you've got the big power, like we've got plenty of power on this card, the big hyzer play opens up, especially with the wind that we were having in the conditions in round 2.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem for these guys is going to be whether to go wide or right down the middle, because they all have the power to do so. Obviously, Reid is
playing a completely different game on this one.
No bueno.
You see so many shots land right there in that kind of swampy, shallow water area. That'll bring Paul to the drop zone. And no surprise to see Thomas go that hyzer, really flexing that power that the young gun of Canada has. And that as well is going to find the same spot just about 15 feet past Paul. So difficult to get to carry it on the right side of that tree and still hyzer back is just a lot of power.
Yeah, honestly surprising to see those two misses. This is playing not as far as obviously as the first round, and there's no wind, so
And this is looking like it's going in the same spot as well.
this one has a chance to hyzer out. And it does.
Oh, wow, Calvin with a nice stability right there at the end. As low as that was, that disc needed to be so overstable at the very end of its flight, and Calvin's going to be rewarded with a circle 1 putt, maybe, I think, for birdie. Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to.
Yeah, it was hard to judge. I think he might have skipped a little bit past, but he could be circle's edge. And Reid, honestly, kind of forced to play this for a par. I mean, that is difficult. This is probably. I know he has the shot to get down there, but it is such a feathery, delicate throw.
No doubt. This is going to be the third hardest hole for the course. The majority of these players on the field are righties, but it's easily the hardest hole on the course for a lefty. 3.32 average. Just a handful of birdies on the day. A really nice run from Paul to be able to jump putt that smoothly and give it a run from that distance really shows off the power that he has from that range. And kind of continuing Thomas's putt, it in some ways, even though his mechanics are a little bit different, the way that he releases it kind of reminds me of an old school McBeth putt, the way that he really pops his hand out.
Look at Thomas. He's getting a Eagle reference, a McBeth reference. He puts
High
those
praise.
two together. Yeah, that's some good conversation to be in right there.
So we'll have 2 pars and 2 bogeys.
I would say my putt's more of like a Shaquille O'Neal free throw
Mixed with a dead duck.
Charles Barkley
Golf swing. Yeah.
with my little flair added in there.
Just like the smallest sprinkling of salt of athleticism in there.
That's right.
Whatever, dude. You know you're a good putter. Hole 6, par 3, the island hole. This is such a fun shot to kind of just run a little bit of an ace run. Looks like Calvin is going with either AVR 3, I believe this is.
It's funny how you said those. Well, we said those names, and then you said sprinkle the tiniest bit of athleticism to like a guy who has like 5 rings and Charles Barkley's in the whole thing.
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal's the greatest ever. And look at this. Of course. Why would Reid Frescura not throw a skip shot off the water? We should have known. The guy's just mad.
Why does he do that?
I don't know.
Does he know that's out of bounds?
He doesn't have a birdie yet, so skip it off the water. That's the recipe for birdie. It has been spelled out at the Ledgestone many times over.
Get up. Get up.
I think he's got the power. Oh, yeah. A little bit scary there for Paul, I'm sure, for a second. If that had taken maybe one more drop, that would have been straight to the drop zone. Thomas going with the Nova.
Hurry.
And
it always surprises me with players who have above average sidearms. McBeth is in a different league. He has such control with the backhand. I would never do anything else as well. But Thomas has displayed very good control with the sidearm.
Yeah, sure.
Seems like just kind of an easier play. You can even skip it off the water.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that can go wrong.
Well, don't say that. I bogeyed the hole today, and my sidearm's not that bad. So, you know.
Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah, it's kind of hurtful. Kind of painful at this moment right now. And Calvin is in for his second birdie of the day. But I totally agree. I feel like forcing the putter into this green when you have the play of just throwing a slower disc into this hillside, it really doesn't, like, you don't have to have that much touch coming into this green. The the likelihood that you're going to skip over that wall out of bounds is very small. If you just have to drive it across the water and keep it in a 60-foot circle.
Yeah, slap a hyzer on it. See what happens.
I think we'll all try to do better tomorrow, Paul. Hole 7, par 4, 615 feet. Straight all the way, but it doesn't mean that you can just throw it as far as you want, because the best approach angle on this is going to be off to the left side. As you can see, that little wall of trees in front of the basket, forcing the only opening off to the left. Then again, we saw Garrett throw it so far yesterday that he threw his approach shot over the trees. So there are some options if you do get pinched off to the right side.
This guy has... I mean, it's like... I'm sorry for you guys out there. It's so hard to talk about something else besides how far these guys really do throw.
It gets repetitive, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, on a hole like this, it's 615 feet. And when you throw it that far, it makes the hole seamlessly a gimme birdie.
Mm-hmm. Seamlessly?
Is that right?
No, but it's okay. I know what you're saying. This needs to turn over, and this is going to keep going. Actually, not so bad. I thought that might have kept tracking down the hill.
That was huge.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot.
Seamlessly huge.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just going to use it for everything now.
There's no seams in that roller, just right down the middle. I think the most challenging part of this hole, honestly, is the tee box.
Is using grammar.
Well, yeah, sure. We all have our own difficulties, of course. The tee box is a bit short for as much power as you really want to throw into this hole. And a player like Thomas and Calvin really have to use an abbreviated run-up. It's not an easy thing to do.
I feel so sorry for them.
No, you don't. Thomas is going to...
get a great little kick out.
Yeah, maybe.
Or you'd rather be right underneath the tree?
Well, the fact that it rolled down the hill to the right really makes that approach angle a bit more difficult. But Thomas does a great job throwing it under the basket. That was a good shot. Let's not discount how difficult that approach could be for the average disc golfer.
I think he could have thrown a similar shot on the last hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that too. Calvin with a nice shot, just a little bit short, but still well within his range for the birdie. Paul getting a bit cheeky through the straight gap. I don't know if he was trying to go wider than that or not, but that opening, the initial opening is pretty wide, but most people are going to try to bring it around the outside.
Beautiful.
So the farthest player from the basket is in for birdie. Star frame alert.
Bit breezy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good wind. Reid.
Oh, yeah. I see you. That was fresh. Frescura. Oh, no. That was Frescura. Oh, Calvin drawing a bit of the upper metal. That falls in for the birdie, and that will definitely solidify the star frame.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's the worst.
You know, you make it. I try to make them too, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Thomas. No Parsons, hole 1. 3 birds, 3 bogeys. Hopefully he can bring some of that birdie energy for the rest of this course. He's got 11 holes left to try to get a good round going as we move on to hole 8, par 3, 324-foot blind, turnover backhand, or hyzer forehand shot to the elevated pin. Coming up short right really makes it almost impossible to get the birdie. There's just so many. Well, we might see exactly what makes it so difficult in there. Calvin maybe got a bit fortunate to not go deeper into the tree line.
Yeah, that'll give him a look.
Nice shot from Reid.
Go in.
Yeah, that looks so good. Actually will have to say that is exactly what I did today. That is so. Once you hear that sound and it's blind, you're just expecting to see the disc roll back down the hill. So I'm sure Paul was thinking that for just a second, but that's exactly where I came to. That's so funny to me and only me. Not funny to anyone else, but it's interesting to see a video replay of something that I feel like matched exactly what I did.
You're like, that's what it's like to be Paul McBeth.
I had a very brief moment of it today. Yes.
And this would be a nice little putt from Calvin. Let's see if he can get the height right on this.
Not quite. Maybe he did, but that little branch at the end definitely secured his fate, and that'll be a par. Reid, this is a downhill to an elevated basket putt. He has had a really nice putting stroke so far this round. But this one comes up low, and it's a bit of a scary putt. I can understand that miss.
That's the famous commentary jinx.
Mm-hmm. Hasn't missed a field goal in 6 years. This one for the championship. He missed a 20-yarder by 15 yards. Oh, my goodness. Do you ever wish I talked like that during commentary?
Yes,
Okay,
I do.
well, it's not going to happen. I just am going to
Which
sound
one
like
of the
Jim from
dents
The
do you
Office.
think you are?
Hopefully a big one.
Yeah. I think you should pick one and sign your name to it, you know? Which one?
Honestly.
What's the choice?
Honestly, I probably don't even throw hard enough to make a dent.
Yeah.
Right here.
That's you?
Not
Wow.
a chance, dude.
Impressive.
That was my mark.
I'm sure they'll say I'm sure Nate and Jamie will correct me if that's mine or not.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah, that's not how you spell my name.
Jeremy, not Jamie. Jeez.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I always get confused for Nate, so I'm used to it.
We really like your commentary, Paul, but where's Nate?
Yeah. We'll see 43 comments about that coming right up.
Hole 9, par 4. Very tight gap off the tee. 750-foot shot. You're going to want to, well, the entire length of the hole. You're going to want to throw a shot that maybe tracks to the left to open up the hyzer approach. Or we saw Garrett try to go really far left, and it opens a straight backdoor route that is out there. But the initial gap here is the problem.
He needs love and lots of it.
And that's a decent amount of it.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, he can get there from there. Like, he has that elite power that he'll be able to get it over that hillside, I think, and maybe give himself a look. But there's not a lot of people in the field that would be able, be able to get it all the way down there. And he needs to say a little prayer to the trees.
We've seen 3 or 4 of those today so far, just in the front 9 from Thomas, just a little bit off the line right now. And
Nobody really hitting this gap well. But he's in the fairway as well, and he, depending how far, that's far back, but I still, I gave up doubting these guys' power.
I'm predicting
long time
Paul
ago.
would need just everything he has and a little bit of love to get to the pin, and the other guys, no chance. And that's going to be a 4 for 4 most likely on no birdie celebration on hole 9. That's my prediction, Paul. You can have yours.
I think somebody will have a putt.
That's a very strange run-up Thomas is trying. My goodness, what a shot.
Get around the corner.
Wow. Okay, that's not really in birdie range, but that was a fantastic approach with his head literally sideways tucked, his ear tucked to his shoulder.
Well, if he can get it there, then this guy can get it there.
Yeah, this is looking really good. This is looking really... Nope. That's on the backside of that stuff, and that's 50 feet, but no line to the pin.
all day.
So this is going to be hyzering a bit left, and yeah, that is definitely in Paul range, but that's right there at that 50-foot mark. Very fast putt.
A solid game plan. I've throw it into that tree and hope it filters through.
I didn't get the filter through.
You did it?
I got the, oh, you're talking about that
this
tree.
tree.
I thought you were talking about the first tree.
No. That one I just throw like a 150 so it bounces off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. The land of make-believe.
That's wonderful. Was that the...
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Oh, no. Now Reid's in a lot of trouble. This is a pretty... Not that bad of a place to be off the tee, but not where you really want to be after your second.
Yeah, he's going to need to throw.
This looks great, though.
It needs to sit. It
Yeah.
does. Look a little wiggly.
It definitely wiggled its way down to outside the circle, but an uphill putt, and that's one you're going to want to have every single time coming into this pin. Can Paul prove you right?
Get down the hill.
Is he asking for a roll away?
Like you haven't. like you haven't every round that you ever played.
Ask for it to roll away? I don't think I'm...
Have you really never just sarcastically said that?
Oh, yeah. I'm like...
Of course you have. You're a disc golfer.
But I thought that's what made me different from Paul.
No. You're you have the same name, same tendencies, and what a save. Once again, Reid Frescura. My goodness, no bogeys in the front nine, and he has had to work hard for some of them. Putts on 1 and 9 from outside the circle to save it.
And with a pop out.
He had that devastating spit out on hole 4. That was a really tough one. That's a good par save. For Calvin, those little putts can be kind of pesky sometimes. Especially when you haven't really gotten into a rhythm. Like, Calvin's not in Calvin's zone right now. This is not what we're used to seeing from him on lead card. And so those kind of putts just have a little bit more tension on them, I feel like. Let's take a look at these front 9 scores as Paul McBeth, with a 2-shot advantage now over Heimburg. Andrew Presnell also moving up to the 3rd place, as well as Garrett Gerthy at 11 under par. A couple 10 unders, a couple 9 unders. And Kevin Jones there rounding out the top 10. What are your key takeaways from the front 9 here, Paul?
Kind of slow for our lead card, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the back 9, we should expect them to hit a different gear and maybe get a few more birdies for us to commentate on.
Yeah, especially on moving day. Expecting to see some good action here on the back 9. So make sure you tune in for that. It's coming around the corner. Thank you so much to the JomezPro Founders Club. We love you. We appreciate you. Happy birthday to you, if it's your birthday. I know it's mine.
Happy birthday to you guys.
Sorry. We'll see you guys in the back 9.